Alright guys, so welcome back to another video. In this edition, what I want to talk about is honestly two of my favorite compliment pulling fragrances from the line of YSL on their L'homme line. First one we're going to talk about is this one here. This is called L'homme EDT. And then also what we're going to talk about is the newest edition from the YSL L'homme line. This here is called L'homme EDP. So let's talk about this EDT first, right? So one of the things with this fragrance is that I got this, I think early last year, and honestly, when I bought it and when I first smelt it, I honestly thought it was, I don't want to say underwhelming was the word, but it was one of those things like, okay, it's great, but what's the big appeal? The thing with this particular fragrance, so first of all, what is the note breakdown on this? So in this EDT, you're going to get some ginger particularly, that's the main note, as well as some bergamot lemon, and then a little bit of spice, a little bit of tonka bean in the dry down, right? So a nice, fresh, citrusy, but a little bit spicy fragrance. And the thing is, it's very smooth. Like, it's one of those fragrances you can't overspray. You can spray as much of it as you want, whether you are a light sprayer or oversprayer. You really can't, choke anybody out with this fragrance, which is why I like it. It's very smooth, very pleasant. But even when I was wearing it out and I was doing my smell test with it, actually had a very, very high rating. A lot of women, especially when I would go up to them, when I get them to review it, or some of the people I'd talk to, I'd get them to smell it, and it was like, wow, that is so good. 20 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9.5, like in the consistent high markers. And for such a simple fragrance, I used to ask them, like, what is it? And it's just the niceness, the elegance, the smoothness, the citrus, they like that ginger accord really is done well, and I think really is something that is appealing to a lot of people. So that was the EDT here, right? Then last year in 2022, they come out with this EDP. Now the EDP keeps a lot of that same original L'homme line, but what they do with this one is they add some bitter orange, right? And you can kind of see that in the bottle and the sort of juice in there. They add some bitter orange, they add some lavender, and then they add this cognac note. So this cognac note that they add to the EDP gives it a level of booziness that they don't have in the EDT. So then when it comes to people buying it, like, okay, which one should I go with, right? I would say that the two of these fragrances is really going to depend. It's always, I talk about your fragrance personality. See, fragrance is not about right and wrong. It's about fit and, functionality, and as well as your personality, right? What kind of presence are you trying to give off? Are you trying to just give off fresh laundry, fresh clothes, maybe just simple fragrance? Then I would tell you to go with something like EDT because it's a little bit smoother. But if you're trying to go out, let's say to have drinks, let's say you're trying to go out to a bar, let's say even you want to give off a little bit more of a boozy, a boozy feel, maybe go out on a date, I would say you'd wear the EDP, right? And that's all based on preference, but saying what I'm saying, two really, really, really good fragrances, two compliment pulling fragrances, and they don't have the most complex of note breakdowns. And two things with these two fragrances is that you don't have to spray a lot, but you also won't go wrong with even heavy spraying them. And they're so nice with their dry downs that it's really going to be something pleasant for you to wear. It's something that you won't really go wrong with, especially whether it's fall, spring, winter, summer, you always be able to wear these fragrances. And you can have these two, and I think that'll round out your collection if you're someone who doesn't want to buy a whole lot of product. All right, so we got your EDT right here, and then you got your EDP right here. So go out, if you see them in Macy's, see them in Sephora, put your nose on them and add them to your collection. All right, we'll see you in the next one.